What if I told you there's a contract clock ticking in El Segundo right now that almost no one outside the building is talking about? What if a quiet paper deadline could change how the Lakers spend, draft, and rotate minutes for the next 2 seasons without a single blockbuster trade? And what if the question tonight isn't if the Lakers believe, but how loudly are they about to say it with a signature and a date? This isn't rumor mill noise. This is calendar math, cap reality, and a coaching staff that knows exactly how one decision on a young wing can ripple into April basketball. When a front office lines up options, guarantees, and language, it's never just numbers. It's a statement about who you want on the floor when the season gets tight and legs get heavy. Here's my promise in this video. I'm going to walk you through why this week matters for the Lakers. Cost structure. How a single move can protect flexibility around the stars. What it means for rotations between the starters and the bench. And the real risk versus upside conversation on a 24-year-old who can run all day and hit a shot that quiets a road crowd. We'll talk timelines, comparables, and what betting on development actually looks like in the second apron era. No spoilers, yet you'll get the full picture first. You're watching Lakers News Fan Report. If you ride with this team the way we do every game, every update, every little move that ends up being the big move, hit subscribe, tap like, and ring the bell. That way you're here when news breaks and plans change. Let's get into it, family. Let's set the table. The modern Lakers live in a neighborhood of tight margins. 2 superstars shape the house, and everyone else has to fit the blueprint without knocking down the walls. That means the difference between good idea and smart decision is often a rookie-scale contract that produces like a veteran's mid-level. You win in May when, in October, you lock in value without locking up flexibility. That's the reality of the second apron, the repeater tax. In a league that punishes sloppy planning, where does a 6'6" movement shooter who sprints like a track athlete and understands spacing fit into that? He fits where playoff possessions get decided, in the half second between a tag on the roller and a close out to the corner. In the 3 feet of daylight you earn by cutting before the defender turns his head. In the invisible work of dragging a weak side helper 2 steps too far so a star can touch the paint. That's Dalton next lane. Not the loudest guy in the gym, just the one who keeps getting open because he runs when other players watch. And this staff has already shown their hand on the kind of players they trust. High motor. Simple decisions. Shot prep. If you move, they'll find you. If you defend your yard, they'll keep you on the floor. A young wing who plays honest defense, shoots in rhythm, and doesn't need 12 dribbles to be useful, that unlocks lineups. It lets LeBron pick his spots. It gives a D cleaner short roll looks. It gives your ball handlers a release valve that isn't a prayer. Zoom out to the cap sheet. Rookie scale years are treasure, but they're also timers. 2 seasons fly, options come fast, and the question becomes whether you let the market define your player or you define the market by getting ahead of it. Teams that wait sometimes save money. Teams that believe sometimes save seasons. The calculus is always the same. Can you get starter-level minutes at bench-level money while your stars eat the heavy cap? On the floor, the basketball case is straight-line simple. Next gravity as a runner and shooter changes how defenses guard the Lakers sets. Chicago action feels tighter. Spain pick and roll gets nastier when the back screener is a legit catch-and-shoot threat. Your second unit can start a game of chase without calling anything fancy. And in the fourth quarter, when the legs go and the brain slows, the guy who's been sprinting all night is usually the one who gets the cleanest look. One more layer, durability and roll tolerance. Not every young scorer accepts being a possession amplifier instead of a possession owner. Next path late rise, hungry work. No shortcuts reads like a player who will defend his minutes with effort and live with 7 shots, one night and 12 the next. That matters more than people admit. Locker rooms function when roles make sense. Fans feel it too. When the ball pops, the building hums. 9th paragraph. last turn before the reveal. We've painted the context, cap stakes, rotation value, skill fit, and why now matters more than later. Keep all that in your head as we step through the door. Because the next piece is the sentence everyone wants to hear and the details. Everyone needs to understand. 10th paragraph, here's the news you came for. Clear and direct. The Lakers are moving toward a contract checkpoint on Dalton Knecht. The short-term piece is expected and procedural locking in the team option window and firming up guarantee language for the next season. The bigger piece is exploratory, laying groundwork for an eventual extension. Framework if his role scales the way the staff believes it can. That's the heartbeat right now. Option timing, guarantee clarity, and early conversations about the shape of a longer commitment if performance and health align. It's not a press release, but it is an update on intent and timing. Let's translate that into fan terms. The option timing part means the franchise has to make decisions on future seasons before the league's Halloween buzzer. Rookie-scale deals are front-loaded with team control. You pick up years early to keep cost certainty later. When a team moves decisively, it's not drama, it's belief. When a team hesitates, it's not always doubt, but it sends a different signal to agents, to other teams, and to the players' camp. Guarantee clarity is the nerdy part that wins you games in April. It's the difference between a contract that turns fully guaranteed on a certain date and one that rolls over in stages. Why do you care? Because staggered guarantees keep a front office alive at the deadline. Full guarantees early can box you in. Smart language gives you room to improve the roster without turning your depth chart into a math problem dot and the exploratory extension talk. That's not a marriage proposal. It's coffee on a Sunday. You don't sign today, you take notes. If Knecht proves he can be a 25 to 28-minute playoff wing who holds up defensively and hits league average plus from 3, you've got a case to get ahead of the market. If he settles at 16 minutes and matchup-based usage, you wait, reassess, and treat the contract like a dial, not a switch. What does this mean for rotations? It could mean more deliberate second-unit possessions designed to feed his movement, less standing around in bench groups, and a clearer mandate. If you run, you'll get fed. It could also mean lineup staggered, so he always has a creator next to him, Reeves, Dello, whomever the staff trusts to find him on time. The goal is simple. Make the floor smaller for the defense and bigger for your shooters. For AD, this is a gift. Short roll reads pop when the help has to shade one step longer toward a true shooter. And slips turn into lobs when the low man doesn't want to leave a corner spacer who sprints the baseline like a wideout. For LeBron managing minutes, choosing moments having a wing who races the floor buys you free points and shorter possessions. That's how you save legs in February. The cash checks in May. How does this touch the trade deadline? If the Lakers secure cost certainty on next deal and like what they're seeing, he becomes either a pillar of the second unit or a positive value chip in a larger conversation, depending on how aggressive the front office needs to be. No one's trading a kid just to trade him. But having a young wing on team control money who can play, that's how big deals go from fantasy to feasible if, and only if, the return justifies touching the chemistry. Let's be honest about risk. Shooter slump. Rookie scale growth is not linear. The league will attack his chest on defense until he proves. They shouldn't. There will be nights where he looks like a 10-year vet, and nights where he looks like a rookie again. That's development. If you want the upside in April, you live with the learning in November. The key is that the habits don't move. Sprint, space, compete, rebound your position. Keep making the game easy for the guys who bend it. There's also the human part. Veterans respect young guys who run hard, don't complain, and show up early. Fans hear it. You can tell when a team enjoys playing together. The broadcast mics pick up a different kind of bench. A contract update isn't just about money. It's a message to the room. This guy is part of how we want to play. If that message is earned, the rest of the group leans into it. Think about the playoff picture. Against switch-heavy wings, next pace steals timing from the switch. Against drop with heavy nail help, the corner 3 makes the nail honest. Against zone, that middle cut gives the baseline dunker a friend. None of that is sexy in January, but it shows up in May when a 9-0 run needs a clean catch and shoot to stop the bleeding. Let's talk benchmarks. If the staff is going to push paper forward, they'll want boxes checked, defensive execution across multiple coverages, comfort handling physical closeouts, decision-making on the second dribble, and conditioning that lets him keep running when other guys are begging for the horn. They don't need him to be a star. They need him to be tough, repeatable, and available. That's what you pay for on that tier of the cap sheet. There's an off-court lane to this too. Modern LA lives on narratives. A young worker who earns his keep fits next to the franchise pillars and shows up big in national TV moments. He sells hope to the building and accountability to the locker room. If you want veterans to sacrifice and kids to buy in, reward the blueprint. A straightforward option pickup with smart guarantee language says exactly that. What if the team waits? Waiting is a plan, not a failure. It means the front office wants a larger sample, or that they're preserving maximum optionality for a mid-season swing. It also means the players' camp will look at minutes and usage even harder. In that scenario, the defense has to be the anchor. Coaches will play you through a cold month if they can trust you to survive possessions on the other end. We should also mention fit across lineups. With a D at the 5, a neck-type wing lets you go 5 out with real pace. With a traditional big on the floor, he becomes the spacer who prevents the weak side from turning into a parking lot. With LeBron on ball late, he's the sprint-to-corner guy who makes the nail defender pick the lesser evil. That's 3 ways to earn crunch time trust. All this brings us back to the front office word of the year: certainty. Options, guarantees, and early framework conversations are about buying certainty without paying retail. If Dalton Neck continues to do the simple things at full speed and the hard things with patience, the math starts loving him. And when the math and the film agree, contracts get simple. Now, family, I want to hear from you before we close. If you're Rob Pelinka for a day, do you lock in the team option early and start sketching an extension framework for next summer? Do you slow play it and let the market talk first? Name your plan in the comments. Option plus patience, option plus early framework, or wait and see. And hit me with your rotation. Who should Neck share the floor with to maximize his gravity? My personal opinion: I'd move decisively on the option and keep extension talk as a living document, not a promise, because betting on a disciplined runner shooter at team-controlled money is smart roster building. And yes, until signatures hit and the team announces it, all this remains well-reasoned speculation.